It's very easy to overcomplicate SEO, even though it doesn't really have to be that complicated. So in this video, I'll go with 3 simple things that will cover all you need to know about titles and tags. Let's get into it. So rule number 1 would be don't reinvent the wheel. What I mean by this is that we should always follow what works. I've talked about a lot about research on my channel previously, and everything has to be based off of that. But if we look at the SEO part of that, so let's just search for something that we search for a lot on my channel, which would be custom sweatshirt. Let's take this one right here. Okay, so what we do here, if we want to make a custom listing kind of like this, but our own version. So when doing research, the most important thing is to add value to a niche. So we can't copy this and say the same thing on our stuff. That's not correct. That's not a way to grow a business. So what you do is that you get inspiration from this, as I talked about previously, and then you make another type of design that will have best-selling elements within it for it to work. But the whole thesis is to add value to the niche by combining best-selling elements together that haven't been combined in a way like you have done before. So let's say that we have that part. Now we're on to listing it on Etsy. So what we do here then is that we need to follow what actually has worked. This is the title that has sold a ton of items for them. So this listing has 1,261 reviews, which is a lot for sure. It's about 2 years old at this point, a little less than that, and it sold a great amount. So what we do here then is that we just copy this, insert this into our own title. But here's the crucial part. If we, for instance, we took this listing and we instead made a college varsity version of this, and that's the value that we're adding to the niche. Then, for instance, the listing could say college style, or for instance, let's say a retro version and put that into the niche itself. Then the listing should say retro custom text design sweatshirt. So you basically add the nuance of the value that you've made into the SEO. If you change one part and, for instance, make this a retro version, then you say retro within the SEO. But having text like this is not something that's copyrightable. It's basically just a title. So just taking this, swapping out a few keywords here and there to match the value that you're adding to the niche. And if something is way too broad, like custom logo personalized sweatshirts, for me is a bit too broad, then we can always just turn to the search bar and just for custom sweatshirts, custom sweat, and then we can see that, okay, so custom sweater has a ton search volume. So instead of having custom logo personalized sweatshirt, we can say custom sweater instead, because that's a more accurate depiction of the thing. Like if someone would type that into the search bar and they would type custom sweater, then your match would probably be something like that. Since you're making a custom sweater or custom logo personalized sweatshirts, it's a bit, maybe it's not something that someone would put in. So we maybe swap out this custom sweater for custom logo personalized sweatshirt. So that's how I think about SEO. I take what's worked, I use the bulk of that, I change some stuff out to make sure it matches the value that I'm adding to the niche, as that's the most important part. So if I make a retro design in this, I make it say retro custom text design sweatshirt. And then since some of these doesn't really make sense, I don't think anyone would put in custom logo personalized sweatshirt into the search bar. Just use the search bar, and then with Everbee I can basically then see how much search volume it gets. So I then can swap out a few keywords here and there using just common sense terms. Like if someone would search for common sweatshirt, maybe they would search for common sweater, or maybe custom crew neck. And then you can just swap out things that doesn't really make sense to stuff that actually makes sense. That's how I think about SEO. The main thing to take out of it is don't come up with everything yourself. Take what's worked and add nuance to it, and swap out things that doesn't make sense. Don't copy it right off. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to take the bulk of it, and then swap out things that doesn't make sense. And then with the value that you're adding to the niche, include that within the SEO. So if you're making a retro design, put that within the SEO. If you're making a college design, put maybe college type design or something like that into the SEO. Shut off. So yeah, something like that. And an important takeaway, because I've seen so many comments about SEO, that SEO is hard, but it really doesn't really have to be. This is really just a process. So just simplify it as much as possible. Like if I'm making a listing and this is one of my designs that I've seen that I want to make my own version of, that I basically want to put up on Etsy and add some value to it, then take this. If you have followed the steps correctly, carefully, then you'll know that, okay, my design does not look like this at all. It's just custom text like this, but then maybe it's a college style with a cursive font, and then the SEO should match that. So then you basically maybe say custom sweatshirt for women, since it's a more of a women inclined design. It's just taking what's working and then simplifying it in a way to make sure that it's appealing to the end customer. Taking this stuff basically here and then just adding some nuance to it with the value that you're adding to the niche. And the most important takeaway from this is that this only actually works if you're adding value to the niche. So if you take this straight up and then you're not adding any value to the niche, like for instance, let's say that you're making your own version of this, but it's not based off research. Like let's say that you made an awesome design. It looks super good, but no one really wants the design. Then you definitely will have a great design, but no, it won't be a design that someone actually wants to purchase. Combining stuff that people actually want in new ways will give them the best chance of actually buying them. And that comes from the research part. So it's really important. I really want to emphasize this and just say that it's really important to take what's there, and then it's just really important to base everything out of research. And if we're at that part, taking elements from here and here and here and here and here and here, combining them into something new and adding the value to the niche. Otherwise, this stuff doesn't really work, as that's the main part of actually selling on Etsy. People have to want the design itself, and it has to, like, if you would put up this exact design on Etsy yourself, what would happen is that they would outcompete you, because they have 1,261 designs, plus you run the risk of copyright infringement, since they can just report you since you've stolen the design. So it's never a good way to run a business. So just make sure to always add value to the niche, and I'll make sure to link a video where I talk about research right here, so that if you want to watch that, please do that, as that's super important. All right, so the last thing that I really want to go over is that you should only use targeted keywords. So what I mean by this is that I've talked about this example a bunch of times, and that's if you sell a flamingo shirt, the title in and of itself should say flamingo shirt, not bird shirt. Because if someone searches bird, they might not actually want a flamingo shirt. They might not want another type of bird. The likelihood of them buying when flamingo shirt when searching for bird shirt is lower. But basically, if you have a shirt that says flamingo shirt or flamingo t-shirt, then the likelihood of them actually finding your shirt and then purchasing is higher. And everything on Etsy is about rank. So if you're on the first page, you will most likely get a lot of sales. But the only way to get to that page is through getting sales. And the only way to get sales is on Etsy in general, is that when someone types something in the search bar, they should be able to find something, scroll to the first page, as most of the sales happens on the first page, press your listing, and then press purchase. The higher the likelihood is that they fulfill this process, the more rank you get and the more sales you overall get. Another important takeaway from using only relevant keywords: if you sell a flamingo shirt, don't use animal lover gift. Use like flamingo lover gift instead. And that is that if you use ads, I'm a huge preacher for ads. I've used them, and that has scaled my business a ton. And what I'm referring to here is Etsy ads, so Etsy's organic ads, not any third-party apps like Facebook ads or something like that, just the in-house ads on Etsy. And I do the same thing on Amazon, where I use Amazon ads on Merch by Amazon. It works super good there too. But the main thing when it comes to Etsy is that when you only use targeted ads, they will mainly show you for relevant keywords that you have in your title on your tags. If you have a keyword that's like animal lover gift or like bird shirt, and they advertise you on those keywords, since you have those in your title or in your tags, then the likelihood of them buying would be lower. And if that is lower and they don't buy, when they push you, your rank will get lowered. But if you only use highly targeted keywords like flamingo shirt or flamingo lover gift or something like that, then what would happen is that if it's a design that they actually want, you will be able to rank higher and thus have more sales the more that you actually sell. Everything is still contingent on having a good design. So I'll link my design right here if you want to watch that as well, because that's still the most important part of actually selling on Etsy. But what I mainly want to get through with this part is that if you only use targeted keywords like flamingo shirt or flamingo lover gift instead of a bird shirt or animal lover gift, then you don't have to manage the keywords when using ads. So it becomes much more of a seamless thing of using ads. You can just usually just toggle them on. If something's not converting, then you can just toggle that off, since you know that the SEO is super relevant. That's been my experience when using very relevant keywords. My experience with using not that relevant keywords has always been that I have to spend more to get sales. My ROAS is worse. I'm not as profitable as I want to be with ads. Not using like animal lover gift or animal lover shirt or a bird shirt for something that is actually a flamingo shirt. That is a super good way for me to actually get profitable with ads fast. And the last part of this is that I think it's really important to use common sense here and not like put Christmas gifts within a flamingo shirt. So if someone is super into flamingos, then using flamingo lover gift is a much better keyword than using Christmas gift, because it's really hard to get ranked for Christmas gift, and there's probably not that many people that wants a flamingo shirt if they're not super into that. So just targeting the specific people that are actually into that is a much better way to actually get the sales compared to just using like Christmas gift for animal lover or something like that. If you want to learn more about print on demand, I suggest watching this video right here. I got a lot of comments about SEO, which is why this video even happened in the first place. So if there's anything that you want to see next, just drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to help out. I'll see you in the next one.